You're listening to Parasearch Radio. News, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch Radio or their affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Good evening and welcome to the Dark Mirror Show. My name is Kerry Greenaway and as always in the studio I'm joined by the two lovely gentlemen. The first being Mr. Mark Manley. Good evening, Mark.
Good evening, viewers. I think we should be known as Parasearch Radio's two Ronnies.
And the lovely Carl Hutchinson. Good evening, Carl.
Good evening. How is everybody?
We're fine. I bet you're a little exhausted yourself.
Sorry,
I spoke for Mark there. Sorry, Mark.
That's right.
Oh, me? Yeah, I tell you what, I was absolutely shattered when I came in at what time did I get in this morning? About 3:45 to 4 this morning from work. I was. I'm not going to swear, but I was fucked. I really was. Yeah.
Wow. What about you? You must be absolutely wiped yourself, Carl. You had a busy weekend.
It's been there's a lot going on at the weekend. A lot of hard work, not just by myself, but obviously by everybody else that were involved. So it was it was good. It was good. Tiring.
So you enjoyed yourself in the red light district down in Denmark, then? Yeah.
Flashy lights. I always like a good flashy light.
Well, yeah, this is true.
Well,
so you just said it hard work by yourself and with others, so I thought, he's been past the butter margarine,
Okay, that's not what I saw Carl in. I saw him in UK Haunted Live at the museum, the Haunted Museum, didn't you?
That's correct, yes. Yeah, last Sunday. Can't believe it's nearly a week away since we did it, but Haunted, UK Haunted Live on really TV social channels. 3.5 live investigation. The boys did incredible. Unbelievable location. And I hope everybody out there enjoyed it.
Give us a little hint as to how much work, pre-work, goes into an event like that. Because it's on really, so it's got... Is it a big production team, Carl?
It's all done in-house. It's all done by the UK Haunted Live team. Really, TV doesn't get involved in that side of it. They've got two representatives that turn up that they're to help us set up as well. So you've got Leanne and Andrew, which you both saw on the show. But it's all sourced, all done by people that who have a love for UK Haunted, and it's the UK Haunted Live family, which we call them. So... Yeah, we were on site from 12 o'clock. Basically we were setting up from about 12:30, really.
Mark?
Yes.
Okay. So
yes.
What was the location like?
We're
having a conversation, obviously.
And I was just appreciating what he says, because I've done setups for shows before, nothing to do with haunted stuff, but I've been in a couple of music videos and this, that, and the other, and I can remember how long that took, and that was years ago, mine, and back when I was a skinny little bugger. But it takes a while.
And it's very intricate, isn't it? Getting the balance with all the camera equipment and the live streaming, and that must be a nightmare.
Well, we have two sides of it, really. We have, obviously, the investigation side of it. So you have Mickey, Alex, and Eamon, and their experiments. So Eamon's setting up his infinity box and all the other bits and bobs that they're going to be using on the show. I set up my area, which was the live audio review area. And then we have a production side of it, where we have a director, two directors, cameramen, runners who basically do the cables to make sure the cameras that are used for the live show, so the ones, the different tradition, you got two or three shots for a particular area. So when the guys, when we're doing the opening to the in between the investigation side, the transition parts of it. So yeah, it's a massive setup. The amount of cables that you even for a relatively small location like the haunted the haunted museum in Nottingham. There's mounds of cables. There's mounds of cables, and then obviously we have to make it safe. So you're walking around, because obviously you don't want to be tripping over cables. So there's health and safety side of it. So we have to make sure the cables are taped down. There's mats. So in the middle of the darkness, you're not got.
See, I don't normally have a problem with tripping over some mounds because I thought most men like mounds.
Yeah.
Yes. Carry on.
Okay. So how many people watched you in the end?
I'll give you a live 2 seconds. I'll give you the live count. Facebook is kind of weird at the moment. Doesn't record as much of the viewers as it normally does. But currently, we have had nearly 100,000 people view it.
Well done.
With
That's
about
amazing.
with about 13k on the night, and
See,
interactive.
that's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, because
Well, if we could get that for our radio show as well, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, exactly right. That would be amazing.
The thing with it you've got to remember is obviously it's an interactive show. The main concept and that makes it different to most other shows out there is that the viewing audience are like the fourth investigator. So we're asking them to keep an eye on stuff, listening to stuff. Because there's not just the live feed that you actually see on the TV. We had 9 CCTV cameras set up. And we had Mickey going off to the attic, who then did a live stream on Instagram, which had live audio and everything like that. So it isn't just like a camera following people around. You've got multiple transitions per shot. You've got CCTV. You've got live audio. And that's all and we've still got to obviously be able to look professional for a 3.5 hour show. Yes, there's technical issues like with live TV anyway. We had a few little gremlins in there with sound and audio and visual for the first first half an hour. But the guys in the production side of it did an amazing job to get that all sorted.
So how does all that tech that's around you and all that equipment around you affect the investigation?
Well, we're quite lucky. Obviously, we only investigate the areas away from, say, the production side of it. We make sure we test all the equipment. We do baseline readings to make sure the cables aren't interfering with any of the equipment we use. When the 3 guys are actually investigating and not doing, say, cut segments where we're doing, say, the human spirit box, or where we're interacting with, say, Nick and the 2 guys from Really or myself, they are literally lone cameraman, i.e. either Mickey, Alex, or Aiden, depending on who's holding the camera, and they're on their own. There's nobody else anywhere near them. We make sure that nobody is anywhere near them because we run the cable. So you'll run a cable up to where they need to be. We'll give them enough cable so when they get up there, they plug the camera in so they can move around freely without anybody in the background pulling cables or running cables. So what we make sure is that there's nobody, when they went upstairs or when they went down into the cellar, nobody is anywhere near them. So we can cut out any outside interference. Obviously, when we're doing shots, say, in the main auditorium, which obviously have the social side of it, you will see in the background people running cables because that's basically you got people running cables because we had designated cameramen to do those shots because that's the nature of that what we wanted to do on those areas. But when the guys were in the location, they're literally one camera, 3 guys, that's it. They have all the equipment with them. They're either in the room set up for them so they know where they are, or they take the equipment with them.
Well, it was certainly an interesting evening. Have you got any funny stories that happened?
This one time at band camp.
Not really. Not funny stories. It's just obviously I was. My job was to do live audio. So while the chaos around was going on, I was obviously doing live recording. So I was going through anything that was mentioned on the social channel side. We saw this move or on CCTV. I was going back and live reviewing it, going back and checking the footage. And I was also doing
lasciviousness in every single picture.
Exactly.
It really is, don't you know?
Exactly. And I also did live audio reviews. So every time they did a segment, they would literally somebody would come out and give me the memory card of the sound. So while they were in the next area, I was live reviewing. And then obviously we didn't have a chance to show everything, because what we didn't want to do is if there was activity going on or there was interesting stuff, we didn't want to break it in just for me to play a couple of EVPs. So at the end, we played some EVPs that we had, like we got a crystal one which said Halloween. But we also, one of the great things was there was one segment while they were in the doll room with Martha, and we set outside, we'd set a motion sensor and a REM pod up, and the REM pod went off. The guys reacted. We captured, and loads of people outside that were watching it contacted us through the social media site and said the REM pod's going off before the guys reacted. We went back to the footage, and yes, the REM pod is going off. None of the cables were unparked because we made sure none of the
My
cables...
dog's bottom's going off at the moment.
Not quite the same, I think.
No.
Just hold the phone a minute. You said you were in a doll room with Mabel. Is
No, I
that
wasn't.
code? Was it one of these like £7,000 doll things, that has built-in noise effects and everything? Was it one of them? Hmm?
No, it wasn't. We weren't at Disneyland, Mark.
Oh, okay, that's all right then.
We weren't in It's a Beautiful World, or we weren't in the Haunted House. This is an old picture house in Nottingham. And not Mabel, Martha. Martha's a dog. Mabel, Martha, I ain't got a clue what it was called. Creepy looking thing. I don't like dolls anyway, so. Bit like
Ladies and gentlemen, there's the advertising.
And there's
Go
our
there.
lovely Cole Hutchison, who's just entered the room.
don't like dolls. Creepy looking ass things. But yeah, I don't
you
mannequins
went to the
either.
Clown Museum in Las Vegas.
I know, and that you walk into that reception, if you don't like clowns, you've got serious issues.
What is it about the doll factor then, guys, that is so creepy? Because, one of the first things as a human when you're born is your ability to recognise a face, right? And that's why the first face you see is the one that sort of sets the landmark for everything that you judge in life, right?
Print.
So that's the first thing that we're programmed as a human to recognise as a face. Is it then because they're not expressional, which is what you would expect from a face at the end of the day? Is it that's the creepy factor about dolls?
It's an inanimate human with very robot-like features, and I think that's pretty much it. But it could have anything in it. I mean, they reckon that back in the days that it used to, like cameras, it used to steal your soul and this, that, and the other, and then they made the creepiest doll you can ever think of, Chucky, which happened to be a flipping redhead, which I think is just a travesty.
But then you look at the Amish community, and they don't have any of their dolls or any of their toys does not have a human face. because they
Really?
believe that part of their religion is to do with the likes of human in other places. So they don't obviously have TV. When people go there, they're not allowed to take pictures of them. And even the kids' toys, when it comes to dolls, so there'll be just a doll but no face.
Yeah.
See, I
And
think
I
that's
think-
creepier than a doll with a face.
Yeah, but that's because we're used to dolls with faces, aren't we? If you were brought up with a doll without a face, you'd think, what? It'd be creepy dolls with faces.
Wasn't there a band in the 80s called Dolls Without Faces?
I think so.
Quite
yeah.
possibly, actually.
Yeah.
Quite possibly. Well, this got me thinking, in all honesty, was where do I stand with the objects holding energy thing? I was thinking about this. Now, obviously, I'm a crystal girl. I like my crystals, and I believe that they hold energy. Yeah, but how about
You talk to your pet rocks.
and I can't even say the word, an inanimate object? Where do you guys stand with that? I sat down and thought to myself today, actually, yes, I do believe in that. I do buy into the fact that things can hold energy and we can pick up signals from that energy it holds, or, yes, I kind of do. So where do you two stand with that? Carl's looking at me like I've lost my brain cell there. The look on that boy's face, everybody, you should have seen it. That was a what the kind of look.
Oh my God, Kerry's turned into a New Age hippie.
No, it's not turning into a New Age hippie. I kind of struggle with this whole objects that can. I don't know. I'm so much on the fence. It's like, yes, I've spoken to people who I respect and have amazing work in this field, and they talk about it. But because I've never really experienced anything. It's kind of like that thing. Until you experience it, it's like the whole thing about the paranormal. If you don't, until you experience your first paranormal experience, you're always going to be sat on the fence. And I think that's where I am with haunted objects. I can understand the premise behind them, because obviously, if, for instance, it's a doll or furniture, because at the end of the day, I believe in the whole building can keep energy and replay moments in time, etc., etc. But I'm still sat on the fence whether an object. Then again, I've spoken to people about psychometry, where you can pick up on the energy when you just hold an object. So I don't know. I honestly don't know, and I struggle to actually give a define. Some days I'm yeah. Some other days I'm like, yeah.
Mark?
There's been so many jokes there, Irene, going to say, and I've had to shut up. It's just like, if you want to experience something haunted, stop sitting on a fence, because that's a totally different experience that you're trying to get there, young man. And if you're holding something waiting for an experience...
Anyway, let's get on to what your opinion is, rather than cracking jokes at poor old Carl. Come on, Mark, where do you sit with this one? Are you on the fence with old Carl over there? Or
really, I don't see why not. If you're building... that can hold objects, can hold energy. Why can't an object that's in a building also hold energy? If that particular object was in, say, a room where something really, really emotional happened, like a horrible murder or a suicide or I don't know, an alien probe up the body bot, why couldn't that hold the energy from it?
Well, this is one we could talk about for quite a while, because it is one of those things that you get your rational brain. It's an inanimate object. How the mechanisms how does that work? But then you look at it on a sort of, I suppose, an emotional, spiritual front. People love things. Do you know what I mean? They love, well, particularly dolls, I would say, actually. We cane about how many there are out there, and we can't prove they're haunted, blah, blah, blah. But if anything's going to be able to hold an energy, a doll or a special teddy bear or something is going to do that, because we take ownership of that as a child. And some people take them right through to their adulthood.
I have pup dogs sat beside me. I've had since I was a baby, and I also have. This is like a pirate version of me. See, it's little round.
How old are they? And have you loved them and kissed them and hugged them goodnight?
45, 46 years old, and this one's about 20 years old, I think.
But that's a long time to be in a possession with somebody and have that connection. Carl's lost it already. Carl, do you have any objects like that? Do you have any objects like that you love it and I get you and take it to bed with you?
Away in his bedroom.
I don't
That's
have any
ruined
objects.
your image in one fell swoop there, Mark.
I don't have any objects which I currently take to bed. No.
I take to bed. I actually gave it to.
No.
Who gave it to my?
Yeah. No objects I take to bed. I do believe I had a blankie when I was young. But I don't. Yeah, I haven't. No, I don't.
You haven't still got it and still have it in a drawer somewhere, or
not that I know of.
No, I don't think you know. Because I was clearing my linen cupboard out. Right, I was cleaning my linen cupboard out, and there was my the baby shawl that I'd used for both the boys. Right, and as I took it out, I thought, I don't need that anymore. Rational brain kicked in because I was clearing it out. So I was like, right, don't need that anymore. And then I went, oh, and then the other side of me went, but it's the boy's baby blanket. I don't want to get rid of it. Now, that is a purely emotional thing. I don't believe that the shawl was holding energy of any form, but there's a lot of first associations, isn't there, with that? So it's an emotional connection that I've built up with an inanimate object in a funny kind of way. Like a teddy bear from a childhood that you carry through to adulthood and still love and kiss and take to bed with you.
Hang on, hold up. Right. That was given to my daughter Rebecca, and then she gave it to my granddaughter Harper. But Harper's got to the stage where she's trying to rip everything to bits and rip the heads off. So hence why it's back up on my bedside cabinet. So Harper can't.
We'll believe that, Mark. We'll believe that.
Yeah, you want to go.
The rest of the people out there is not going to believe that. Because it just seemed to be at hand, and we know where you do your radio show from your bedroom, so it just happened to be on the bedside cabinet. So on the bedside cabinet. We'll all believe. If you're going to start having a pop at me early on in this show, I'm going to give it straight back at you, Mr. Malloy.
Here he goes, Mr. Tech Guy.
Now the show is going to deteriorate into nonsense. Right, changing the topic. Halloween was last night. Big event in the paranormal community. Everybody was out and about. What kind of evenings did we have, my beautiful men?
I will let Teddy himself speak first.
Carl, would you like to start off that question?
Well, I
bloody elephant guns.
I didn't do anything last night. I'm obviously trying to sort me get back into a decent sleep pattern since doing the live. So I literally didn't do anything last night. The neighbourhood I live, you have trick-or-treaters running around. I think the most paranormal stuff I was doing was watching some stuff on Netflix. I watched a couple of series. I watched a couple of episodes of Haunted on Netflix. Other shows are available, and other streaming networks are available. But that's just probably as much as I did last night. I don't really get into the whole one day of the year. I know they say the veil is thinner, blah blah blah, but
don't you bloody blah my veil, mate.
Well, you know what I mean. It's like Valentine's, isn't it? You have to give a card for Valentine's. What about the rest of the year? So that's how I think about it in terms of the paranormal. It is
actually a solstice.
I know it's a solstice.
It's just like any old day.
With little bows and arrows floating about, yes.
Yeah, I know. It's just if Halloween happened at a weekend every single time, like on a Friday or a Saturday, I probably would do stuff. But when you're doing stuff during the week, and you then got to get up for work the next day or whatever you got to do, I think sometimes you have to occasionally give it a swerve. And that's what I did last night.
Okay, fair enough, Mark. What was you up to last night? And I want to talk to you about pumpkin carving, because you did some amazing pumpkin carving. Well, your kids did.
What?
He didn't.
Kids.
Oh, thanks.
His kids did. He didn't actually do it, but it looked like he did it. And so we're going with that.
Yes. Both my daughters and my son carves pumpkins, and Taylor, the one who occasionally comes on the radio show, she did Jack Skellington and Oogie Boogie, and it actually looked really good. And I put a video of them up on the Parasearch page because somebody ordered me to, because I completely forgot to do it. So I put the video out there.
All I can say is it should have been up there without me even having to say anything, is all I'm saying. Mm-hmm.
I had a message in German with it looked like an SS cap and some JetBlue saying, "You will do this now!" So I was like, oh.
Lucille is out and kicking is all I'm going to say. So, have you two ever carved a pumpkin? Because I find them incredibly difficult to do. In fact, just a basic jack-o'-lantern bloody face is difficult enough.
Get a Sharpie or a marker pen and draw your face out first, and then you literally just a little, jigsaws.
Yeah.
The saw thing, the jigsaws. Get one of the blades and you just cut the shapes out with that blade. You only need a little tiny thing like that to do it, and you do some really good stuff.
Oh, that's where I've gone wrong then. I've been doing it with a carving knife.
And my answer
then you just
no.
And you've never done it?
No.
Oh, I think we're going to have to get Carl over one Halloween and introduce him to all the traditions of Halloween, like apple bobbing and.
No. I've done the apple bobbing. I've done all the party games when I was kids, when I was an adult, when I'm an adult. Done all those sort of things, but never really tried the whole carving of a pumpkin because I don't like pumpkin. So
wildlife, love it though.
Sweet.
So
wildlife love it. Yeah.
Wildlife love it. So once you've done with your pumpkin, everybody, you take the candle out, obviously, and if you take it to a wild area, like a wood or put it out, or even at the bottom of your garden, away from humans.
Just there again.
It's all wild. Or no, just even at the bottom of your garden, the birds will have it, the hedgehogs and that will have it. Local fox will eat it, badgers will eat it. It's like horses love it.
You live in some parts of London.
For certain types of animals, it's really good. Not to mention, obviously, the important stuff, the insects world as well. Will thrive off of pumpkins. So, guys, don't just chuck them in the bin. Give them back to the wildlife, because that is really important, in my view, to do.
I did drive over a pumpkin this morning.
Bloody hell! That must have they're really hard.
Did you look at it and go, "Do you know what? He's really pissed me off. You're gonna have it, young man." Bang.
No. Sadly, the neighbours left it, and I was coming out the driveway, and I accidentally clipped it. So I drove over one of their pumpkins. I did apologise, and the next door did say, "I'm sorry, the kids shouldn't have left them where they had, because they were sort of on the driveway." So I did squash one of their pumpkins when I nipped down to the shops.
Aww.
Better a pumpkin than a cat.
Well, I have to say, generally, it looks like a good time was had by all last night.
I was at work last night. Doing pumpkins for a photo shoot.
Yeah, the photo has gone up on the Parasearch Radio group page in case you've missed it. That looks amazing, right?
That was it's Saltmarsh country home, country manor, and I'm hopefully going to be the head night porter there, which is what I was doing last night. I was doing some a trial and a bit of training, but there's a wedding that was happened there today, and I can't say who, big expensive jobby, and the bride wanted the pumpkin set they had in the morning room all done out on the steps in a fancy manner, so that's what we did. And I took a photo. I was the only one that took a photo as well, and that was all done before any of the guests came or anything, so it was all lit up with the lights and everything. So I took a photo and then put it up on the page.
It's really pretty, I have to say, really pretty. Shows you my macabre sense of humour, doesn't it? It was so pretty. Well, I thought it was, everybody. I thought it was a lovely photograph. I thought you did a grand job there. And if you are working there at night, you're going to see lots of paranormal activity, hopefully.
There is, because down in the cellars especially, I mean, Carl's been down there, but down in the cellars, because that's where I have to all the cutlery and tables and glasses and all the stuff that I need to put upstairs when they got weddings, and like, because I have to dress the tables and everything. Me, Mr. Ed, dress the table and everything. Yeah,
He's going to be in one of those little penguin suits before we know he's going to be like a little butler, isn't he? Like, what's his name?
What was that?
Penguin suit.
What was the film with the butler? The comedy film.
Oh, Arthur.
Tim Curry one you're thinking
The one
of.
with the...
Oh, no, he's thinking of Scream.
What?
Mashed potato.
Mashed potato.
Anyway, moving swiftly on. Halloween last night went incredibly well for everybody out in the field last night. It looks like you all had a ball. At midnight last night, right now, we've got to talk about this because this is a biggie, right? There's a lot of people in the field being recognised. Yeah, they're being recognised for their contribution to the paranormal field. It's the Higgy Pop Award nominees were released last night, and I thought we'd take a little look at some of the categories because there's some amazing people that are up for an award this year, including Parasearch Radio. Just like to say, vote Parasearch.
You bastard.
Right, so the categories: Best Female Ghost Hunter. Well, obviously the lovely MJ is in now.
That's who I voted for.
Yvette Fielding is in there from Most Haunted, obviously. Jane Harris, the lovely Jane Harris, she's good. There's a close call there, I feel. And Hazel Williams from Paranormal Captured.
Yeah, I'm not. I know the other four. I obviously know Hazel
Katrina.
from...
Sorry, there is five. There's Katrina Wildman as well. I don't know why I forgot to mention her. Gosh.
Yes, Katrina Wyman. But yeah, no, I obviously know the four others, but and obviously I know Hazel from the TV show Paranormal Captured, but I don't actually know much of a investigation side of it.
No, to be fair, I don't either.
That was one of them that I was going to check out and do a little bit more look at, but my vote's already done on that one anyway. So.
Well, yes, obviously. I think we all know where we're going with that one. Mm-hmm. Best Male Ghost Hunter: Barry Guy, Danny Moss, Fred Batt, Carl Beatty, Zach Baggins.
I just want to ask a question. There's one on there that I would say it technically isn't really an investigator.
Yeah. Yes, no, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
He's not an investigator.
Yeah.
Fred Batt is not an investigator.
No, no he's not.
What would you class him as then?
Well, he's portrayed on the show as a demonologist.
Yeah, but he's out there investigating. That's just his belief system.
Still don't really see him investigating.
Okay, that's fair enough. Right, best psychic. Now, this is a bit of a strange one, isn't it? I think, because
there's somebody on there who shouldn't be on there. Let's put it that way.
Let's not go into that. So we've got Chip Kofi, Chris Fleming, Derek Okora, John Sixth Sense, Harris and Kenny. So don't forget, the nominees are built out of what people voted on for people to be nominated. So you put a vote in. So if you've got a huge army of followers, then the chances are that's why. Which is kind of how it goes, right?
That's what an awards are like. Awards are like. It sometimes isn't to do with how well you do the job. It's how well or how popular you are on social media. Not saying that's a bad thing. Not saying that's a negative thing.
No, it's just a fact.
It's just the nature of the beast. Psychic medium. Yeah. That's a tough one, really, because you've got to be able to experience that person, physically see how they work before I would make a judgment on that.
Yeah, exactly.
But in that case, there'd be only one person I would vote on that, and that would be Chris Fleming, because I've worked with Chris, and he's unbelievable the way he works. But then again, you've got other people on that list which I've heard really good stuff about.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm with you. My only experience on that list is Chris Fleming of the one I've seen on socials or TV shows, whereas I've spoken to Chris. So for me personally, that's a no-brainer on that one. But that's just because I'm not really
I'd voted
aware
for it
of
as
the
well.
others, you know. Right, now this one is a toughie. Right, best paranormal movie. Now I haven't seen any of these, so I honestly couldn't tell you. Right, so you've got Annabella Comes Home, Child's Play, It Chapter 2, Pet Sematary, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
That's the one I voted for. That one.
I've not seen the last one.
It's worth. It's on net.
What? Sorry.
So it's worth it. I was just going to say it is worth it. I'm not going to say anything about it for people who haven't seen it, but it is definitely worth a watch, and it's better than Annabelle and all that lot. I think that's my own personal opinion.
I personally, I voted for Annabelle because I'm interested in obviously in the Warren cases, and I'm interested in the. Okay, it's Hollywood and it's not really factual to a point. There's a little bit of fact in it, but it's obviously Hollywood, and they obviously do it for views and do it for.
Oh, they do it to the max, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. But looking back at it, looking at the Annabelle case and everything like that, I went for Annabelle.
There is an option actually. If you're not sure or don't know the answer, you can abstain in the voting process.
I did that a couple of times.
Well, I had to do it on that one because I'd not seen any of them. So for me, I couldn't call a movie on that one. To be fair, because never seen it. And this is kind of another one that I was a little stuck on, in all honesty. I know which one I ended up voting for, because obviously. But there is tough competition in this one, which is the best paranormal reality show. You've got some hard hitters in this category, everybody, because you've got Ghost Adventures, obviously Zach and Zoot team, massive following there. Ghosts of Morgan City, Most Haunted, which I kind of has lost its popularity over the years. Do you not feel?
No.
You don't? Because they're on YouTube now. They're not on the terrestrials,
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That program has such a strong followers, such an amazing hardcore fan base. Doesn't matter whether it's on TV, whether it's on social, doesn't matter whether it's on YouTube. These people will follow it to the end.
Mm-hmm. We got a newbie that was released this year, Paranormal Captured.
Mm-hmm.
What did we make of that?
I liked the concept of the show. I liked the evidence that they reviewed, and I liked the honest, open, factual points that the reviewers that they had, which was a great bunch of people, actually did to the show. So I think it was a good concept. I love the concept of it, and hopefully that'll get another chance to go into series 2.
Yeah, I actually thought it was a different way of paranormal TV as we've known it before now. I thought it was a different way of looking at it.
It's a bit like the Dark Mirror show. It's a refreshing change to the norm.
Well,
no, I was torn between that and Unexplained Caught on Camera, but in the end I went with Unexplained Caught on Camera purely because of my own thing. I really like that show. So
yeah. See, and that was the other one, Paranormal Captured, and then followed by Unexplained Caught on Camera. I mean, yes, we may be sounding a little biased, everybody in the room. These are our personal opinions, and it's up to you how you vote within these categories. There's my disclaimer.
You will do this now!
You will go and do what we tell you to do. No, you won't. I'm only joking. That is a joke.
But personally, because of the fan base, I think there's only going to be one winner of that award.
I reckon he's right, yeah.
Mm-hmm, unfortunately. But you never know. You never, ever know, right? So, guys, get out there, put your votes into all the categories because it's really important and it's really lovely to have some recognition in the work that you do, is all I'm going to say. So thank you so much. I'm just blown away we're actually nominated this year, to be fair. Best Paranormal Best Paranormal Documentary Film. Now, again, I was torn on this one. You've got Bob Lazar, Area 51 and Flying Saucers. You've got Borley Rectory. You've got Helia. And you've got the Dybbuk Box, the true story of Chris Chambers. Now, I kind of didn't know which way to go with Borley Rectory and Hellier. Obviously, I'm very involved. I say involved. I think they're both amazing pieces of work, is what I mean. I'm sort of invested in both of those myself, emotionally. They're the two that really caught me this year. But I haven't seen the other two, so I can't judge the other two. So where was you guys on those four?
I've seen the Bob Lazar documentary, which is very, very interesting. But obviously that's stepping slightly away from the paranormal, spooky type of thing, and more on the alien side of it. And it's a very, very good shot documentary, and I would recommend it. Hellier, I think, is just outstanding. The Borley Rectory one, which I watched literally. I think I watched that on the plane flying out to Vegas. I downloaded that, and I thought that was very, very interesting. The last one I hadn't had a chance to look at yet.
No, I've not had a chance to look at it. Mark?
I was torn between Bob Lazar and the Chris Chambers one, and I'm not going to say who I voted for, but it was one of them.
Bob Lazar.
And the Chris Chambers one is actually very interesting. What was that? Actually, no, I'll tell you, it wasn't Area 51. I voted for the Dimmock box. I didn't go for the aliens, or I didn't even offer to hold out my little hand. It's my strong hand for people to hang on to, just in case they fell off the Area 51 flying saucers or anything, But there you go.
That's for people. Right, now careful on the next one. We might just skim this one. The best online ghost hunter: Charlene Lowe Kemp, Lee Steer, Sarah Wyman, Steve Richards, and Tony Ferguson. And then the best online investigation team: Haunted Live, Paranormal Hauntings, Project Reveal, Ghosts of Britain, the Ouija Brothers, and UK Haunted. It's kind of two of the same, I feel. Best online ghost hunter and best online investigation team. There are some crossovers there, aren't there?
No.
Okay. Best online paranormal show. Let's have a look at that one. No, to be fair, it's very difficult, isn't it, when you talk about online stuff. Everything is under scrutiny, no matter what you do is put out there. And it does tend to it splits. There's the word I'm searching for. It splits the field sometimes, doesn't it?
I think when it comes to that area, the online stuff, I think it comes back to popularity as well, and fan base and stuff like that. It comes back to, sadly, it comes sometimes can turn into this, that, and the other, and everything like that. So when
I voted for Sarah.
When you come to investigators, I think that's slightly different to online shows, because obviously you've got some great shows. Not saying that just because I was part of it, the UK Haunted stuff, but you've also got the Phil Wyman's ones on there, isn't there?
Yeah, you have.
And that's if anybody's seen that, go and have a look at that, because that's so amazingly shot and so amazingly edited.
Yeah.
It's very, very impressive the way they've done it for a YouTube / online show. And there's quite a few other in there that are good mentions. But when it comes to personality or investigator, I think that can fall into the murky depths of publicity, egos and stuff like that. I think that's when it comes to an individual, I think that's how they got there, that's how they are there, and that's how they're going to stay there, is by basically pushing themselves.
But like you said, there are some amazing pieces that are being produced by online teams, and good luck to all of those people involved in that. It can, but like I say, it can be very diversive. It can split the field with some of the things that people have done, and it can be quite controversial at times. So that's the problem with that, I think. Right, best online paranormal show. Did I just do that one? I did that one, didn't
No,
I? Yes.
we haven't done that one yet.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh, yeah, we have.
Well, again, it's Are You Haunted, Ghost Dimensions, Paranormal Porn Stars is in there, and The Haunted Hunts. Now, I have to say, haven't seen the Paranormal Porn Stars, caught Ghost Dimensions, quite like that one. Are You Haunted? It was okay. And I haven't seen The Haunted Hunts.
Haunted Hunts, that's... They're all very, very good in their own rights. They all have, in my eyes, they all have negative sides to them. They all have positive sides to them.
I voted for the porn stars.
Bless them.
I must admit, I've never seen Haunted Porn
It's
Stars.
worth a watch. It is worth a watch, I tell you. I mean, I like it. It tickles me bits. It really does. I like it. You know, it's my kind of show. It's just lacking the alien guy. That's all it is. You know, all of these things are lacking the alien guy. That's what it is. You know?
Except it's all to do with like spirits and hauntings and ghost hunting. So it kind of like the alien guy kind of don't fit in that remit. But we'll have to sort something out.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, yes, it does. yes, because ghosts very often have their own form of transport, i.e., flying saucers. So yes.
Right, next one was the best paranormal events team. Haunted happenings, haunted houses events, HD paranormal, most haunted experience, spooktacular ghost hunting events. There's some great paranormal public teams out there, you know, like event companies out there for the paranormal. I will say that there's some amazing events that go on. I've seen so many go on over the last few days. Yeah. It's been brilliant.
That also comes down exactly the same as before, because if you go on a public ghost hunt or a public event, you 9 times out of 10 will probably stay with the same firm that you go on with.
Yeah, so if you've had a good experience with them, yeah.
There are a few people out there that will go for the location. So whatever the team is doing at a great location, they'll jump between them. I've been on a few of those teams, and they all do an incredible job, and they're all run very, very professionally. And I think that group, that particular award, that's a tough one. There's some strong contenders in that one.
I did no preference purely because of it. It would be unfair if I voted for one and not the others. You know,
it was a difficult one. As I say, that is a tricky one. And kind of what I did in one category, I sort of like then voted the other way on the other category. It's kind of how I did that one. Sort of like worked around it between all the people that I know and really love working with. Right, the next one is a no-brainer. I would just like to say the best paranormal podcast is obviously got to be Parasearch Radio. There are no other contenders in there. Yeah. We are going to...
There's nothing to see here. There's just Parasearch Radio. Move along.
No, to give a shout out to the other guys, because we also appreciate how difficult it is to run a regular paranormal podcast. We do it 5 nights a week, live as well as sometimes pre-recording, and we all know how hard it can be to be a paranormal podcaster. So to give a shout out to the other nominees this year. You've got Clinton Baptiste, Paranormal Podcast. You've got Knock Once for Yes. Obviously, Parasearch Radio. And thank you. Please vote for us. Please vote for us. Spirit Talk with Mr. Chris Fleming, and Weird Tales Radio Show. So other than that, I'm not going to pass comment on any of the others, because obviously I am very, very biased in that one. Very, very biased.
If you vote for Parasearch Radio, I will give you your own personal dedicated aliens.
Oh God, might scare people off voting.
Oh, step in it. We very nearly had trouble then. We very nearly had a nip slip there, young lady. Be careful. That left one nearly came and said hello.
Just having a hot moment. I just got a bit flustered on the nominee for paranormal podcast.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, we're a nominee. Anyway, best paranormal magazine. Right, we've got 3 contenders. I found this one difficult because I like all of them. 40 Times.
I voted for
Haunted Magazine and Paranormal Hauntings.
Yeah, I voted for 14 Times purely because I've read that for years and years and years, and I think Vanderwerf is...
Yeah, 14 Times is obviously the longest running magazine. It's not just what goes bump in the night. It goes into all sorts, everything you want to think of. There are some great contenders in there. Interesting one. I think I know who will win that one, but I'll tell you what, that also might come down to fan base.
14 Times was also what got me into cryptozoology, because they did a massive piece on all the beasts around the UK and the hotspots and this, that, and the other, and it was that originally first got me into cryptozoology.
I used to be the subscription account manager for 14 Times.
Well done.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Brilliant magazine. That's why I voted for it.
But we was introduced. I mean, we've just done a Haunted magazine. Have definitely hit it hard and fast recently. But with the Usborne book launch of the World of Ghosts, they're quite a high profile at the moment. So hopefully they'll stand a chance against some of the giants in it. Paranormal Hauntings, good luck to you too. I think you're all amazing.
I think Haunted magazine won it last year.
Well, you see what I mean? 14 Times doesn't mean to say that they're going to get it then. Right, blogger. Now, I have to say, having attempted a few blogs myself in the past, it is not always easy, and people underestimate the amount of research that actually has to go into producing a blog of any form. So I'm just going to give a shout out to all these guys because they're all brilliant in their own way. You've got Amanda Woolmer from Spook Eats, Charlene Low-Kemp from Paranormal Hauntings, Hayley Stevens from Hayley is a Ghost. I really like her writing. And Vicky Grant from Dead Central. Fantastic bloggers, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, you know yourself how difficult it is to do a blog. Because especially when you've got your own life that you've got lead and jobs and everything. Oh, I'm sorry, did I cut you off there, young man? Carry on. I'll shut up and let you talk. Carry on.
Who are you talking to?
I thought I jumped over the top of Carl there. That's why I stopped to let him carry on talking.
Didn't say a word, Mark. I was listening to what you were saying.
Oh, I've only brought a couple of blogs out. I'm in the middle of writing my third one. And it's just with running a family life and a personal life and everything. It's incredibly difficult. Especially when you've got kids running about, cats and dogs running about, people expecting me to serve food with my little hand, and then I've got granddaughters running about and this, that, and the other. Trying to find time to get the people to shut the hell up so you can concentrate on it. When I see you, young man, I'm going to show you what I can do with a turkey baster and this hand. You better believe it.
I know that I'm in trouble next to my CEO.
You are in big trouble.
No, I do. I do agree with that point. Is when you sit down to write. I mean, I've done some of my best writing actually in the middle of the night when the kids are asleep and everything's settled. I'm not going to be disturbed. I mean, I was trying to do some editing of a blog earlier, and every 2 seconds my messenger is going off, and I'm not one of these that thinks, I'll turn it off. I have to respond. Do you know what I mean? I kind of have to get it done and then I can move on again. So it is that time of concentration to actually sit down and write it. And so I do hold in awe anybody that writes a paranormal blog, because they do have to do a hell of a lot of research to get that down on paper. It is good. Right, Paranormal Hotspot. Well, okay, we've got 30 East Drive, and I think everybody knows my opinion on 30 East Drive. We've got the Haunted Antiques Paranormal Research Centre. Our lovely Neil is nominated in that category. So obvious choices there, everybody. Old Picture House and Haunted Museum in Nottingham. The Tatton Old Hall, Knutsford, and the Village in Mansfield.
I've been to the Tatton.
I've been to 1, 2, 3, 4. I've been to 4 out of the 5.
And what would you say then is a paranormal hotspot?
Well, we nearly had a paranormal hotspot then when you had a nip slip.
I was having a paranormal hotspot. I don't know about anything else. That's why I had to take my dressing gown off. I'm doing this in my PJs, everybody.
I think they all have their own merits. I think some of them potentially can be overhyped. But I think they've all got their own merits. The only reason I voted for what I did was because it was the most recent place I'd visited, and it was some interest. We've had some interest. We got some interesting stuff there. So I went for the one in Nottingham, solely down to a couple of the others on that list. I didn't feel that was that exciting, to be truthfully honest. The other one I have not investigated or have not been to.
Mark?
I voted for the Antiques Research Centre. I've never been there, but I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Again,
one
it's
of the other
definitely
places
created a buzz this year. I mean, I showed a show the other day, a flashback show, and it was a year ago. And Neil, from a year to where they are now, he hadn't even moved into the Haunted Antiques Research Centre when we interviewed him. He was looking at it. He was just about to sign the papers for it. And so it literally was right at the start. To see where he's got to now with that, it's absolutely phenomenal.
Exactly. I think he's done one hell of a good job on it. And it's on my hit list of where I need to go. But one of the, I'm not going to mention particular names, one of the other places that I do think has been rinsed. I mean, completely, whatever was there, I think it's just been psychically exhausted and it needs to be just left alone for a bit to let its energies build back up again. I've not been to the old picture house. I had to tat an old hall on several occasions when I was younger because I was brought up in Cheshire, and that's a lovely place. It's a really nice place to go. And my mum used to... my mother, it explains why I'm just as warped as I am. She was an Ann Summers manager, and they used to have a lot of their meetings there, and I'd go along, you know, and it was just like awesome. Mummy, what is that big thing that batteries go in? It's a cucumber! Now shut up! And then you've got the village, and again, I don't know that, so I purely went on what I know, and... knowing how much work he's put into the Antiques Research Centre, Paranormal Research Centre, I had to vote for him. It was a no-brainer.
Well,
I think that's all you can do on a lot of these.
Yeah, I mean, he's
exactly,
one of our
exactly.
teams, so of course that's where we're where we're going to go with that one. In all honesty, well, for me anyway, I'm talking for all of us, obviously. So last but not least is best paranormal evidence. Now, this is something that's been captured in a programme this year. So. Death to the Lot of You, C&D, Grace the Doll, The Haunted Hunts, Ida Wild Apparition, Hunts.
But it's right, okay. Just checking.
I had to pronunciate that very carefully. Idlewood Apparition, Ghosts of Morgan City, Shadow Man, Ghosts of Britain, and Skeleton Hands, Haunted Live. Make it what you will of that paranormal evidence, shall we say, is all I can say on that one. Some of it, it's personal perspective, isn't it?
Yeah. The good thing on that vote, you can actually click on and actually look at the evidence. So I think
if you haven't seen it, at least you can
have a look at it, and then make your own judgment from there. That's all I'm going to say.
There is one last category that is not open for the voting viewers. It is something that I'm assuming that Higgy Pop do, and that's the unrecognised paranormal investigator who's worked the hardest to further the paranormal field this year. All winners get announced on December the 9th. So as Parasearch Radio and nominees, I'd like to wish everybody all the best in the Higgy Pop Paranormal Entertainment Awards. It's great to see so many variations across the paranormal field, not just... I was surprised at some of the people that got in there, and it's a fantastic achievement for everybody just to be nominated. So well done. And please go over to Higgy Pop to place your nominations. And if you are of a mind and you love Little Parasearch Radio, please vote for us in the best paranormal podcast. We will be forever grateful and kiss your feet and stuff when we see you.
And, as I said, you will get your own personal aliens if you do that.
This is very, very true. So, guys, I'm assuming that you've placed your votes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Excellent news. Excellent news. I will just share the link into the chat room so everybody can go away and have a little vote. What happens is you place your votes, they then send you an email to confirm your vote. So watch out for your email once you've placed your votes, because you will have to go and confirm them before they are counted. So that is something you have to be aware of when placing your votes. So, guys, we've actually come to the end of the show.
Mm.
We have, and I haven't managed to reach through the camera and throttle Carl with my little hand. So, it's quite cool.
Mashed
All I'm
potato.
saying is just as well this show is sometimes done when we're all in separate locations.
It's a bloody good job, you're my friend.
Join me live on Monday on the Parasearch Radio group page. However, there is one last thing I need to tell you. Do not forget, Sunday evening, 9 p.m, we have got a cracker of a special interview for you. This is part of the Sage Paranormal, which we are on full gear up for, by the way, everybody. Because that is, when is it, Carl? Thursday?
Next week, yeah.
Next Thursday. Sage Paracon kicks off.
I start from Tuesday.
Well, yeah, obvious.
I start from Tuesday.
Carl's on the run around picking up people and doing a shuttle bus service, and then he's doing like moving stuff for MJ. And oh my God, he's got a whole week of work ahead of him as well as covering.
Yeah, I'm glad I've got about a week and a half of Sage Paracon. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I'm going to be asleep for probably about 2 weeks.
No, you're not, because you're going to be on the show. We're not allowing that.
I don't know about that.
So on Sunday, a pair of the guest speakers joined me in the studio. Greg and Dana Newkirk, we managed to pin them down for an interview. And we're talking all things Hellier 2, Sage Paracon on Sunday. Fascinating interview, I will say. I could have spoken to the guys for absolute hours. So if you are going to Sage Paracon, then you're in for a definite treat with that one. And if you're not, why are you not? Very, very few tickets are left for Sage Paracon. Go over to sageparacon.co.uk and you have got a chance to still get one of the last remaining tickets that are available. It is the #1 premier paranormal convention in the UK, with people like Greg and Dana Newkirk and Carla and Sam's guest last night. Voodoo Mary was on. Fascinating. Oh my God, the list of people is phenomenal again this year, isn't it?
I just need to do a quick shout out. There will be something that I'll be giving out over the weekend, because obviously Parasearch Network is obviously the network that PHS Radio shows on. So we're doing it in conjunction. PHS Radio is the official radio show for Sage Paracon. There is a little bit of a treat for people that come and go and see Sam at the table. You can't miss it. There'll be a big sign with the first table as you come through the door. Put your name down for some official Trunk Meet Carl merchandise, and somebody will win a lovely shirt.
Ooh, there you go. Go make yourself known at the PSH Radio Show stand at Sage Paracon. We have got coverage going on for Sage Paracon all over the 4 or 5 days that is going on. So, guys, don't forget to join us for that. But on Monday, I will give you a rundown of the rest of the shows that are going out across the network on next week. For next week, anyway. On that one, I bid you all a very farewell. Say good night, guys.
Good night, and do sleep well. And remember, it doesn't normally happen. Don't have nightmares.
And good night. And all I'm just going to say, mashed potato.
Take my little hand. Take my little hand and shove it right up your...
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.